Welcome back to the Over the Top podcast. I'm your host, Nick.
I'm Juan.
I'm Brandon.
And thank y'all for joining us for another week. How you fellas doing?
Not bad.
Not
it's
bad.
a calm Sunday. Good weekend.
Brandon's still recovering from a couple of days ago.
I don't want to talk about it.
Last night
He
was
got
mad real.
the ill hangover.
I guess we have to talk about it, but I don't want to talk. It is a good sports weekend, though, personally, for me. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks went up 2-1 in the Garden.
But you're forgetting about
Javonte Davis also won last night in outstanding fashion.
You're not forgetting about one other team?
I said it was a good sports
that played on Thursday.
It was a good sports weekend. It's Thursday the weekend. I feel like you got to put on your listening caps, fellas.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, before we get into that Little League, we got to
Little
start
League.
with the number one, the biggest league on the planet,
MLS.
the Champions.
MLS.
So, pretty good games this week. Real Madrid, Chelsea. Another game I called. 2-0.
I called.
Madrid win.
You called it.
We got to roll these tapes back.
Nah, but in all seriousness, Madrid goes through pretty easily.
Oh,
Kind of what we all expected, right?
free promo was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I expected Chelsea at home. They had some good scoring opportunities, but I didn't really see it from them. Like, I don't know. There's something just about Chelsea that's like they just can't seem to like score. It's like been a struggle throughout the whole season. And then they also spend like $200K or $200 million on defenders, and they can't defend either. So
Damn.
they can't score and they can't defend. But yeah,
They need Wout Weghorst up top.
that'll give them like own goals probably.
I'll take one for the team and give him over there.
Maybe they need Maguire, Harry Maguire.
They should pick him up.
They probably take him. For
They
like
should
70.
pick him up. Whatever they want for him.
So yeah,
I'll take a ham sandwich for Harry.
Harry does look like he eats a lot of ham sandwiches.
Listen, we've been to England. Love you if you're watching from England. I'll take anything from England. Whatever you need. Just take them.
The beans on toast?
The fruit.
I will take beans on toast for Harry.
Right, and how bad was like? I feel like we spent like 3 hours trying to look for food, and every place like we were in. Literally, I'm not even talking. We were in Manchester, and like this is a big city, and we're just like, yo. We were looking at the menus. We're like, oh, this shit does not look good.
I'll be honest. Okay, so like
Where's the nearest McDonald's?
So we were literally, and
So
when we were in
American.
Manchester, we were staying literally next to a McDonald's. Like, not as a joke. Like, you walk out, look left, it's McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
But
Billion served.
while I was in England, like, I didn't have any food I loved. Like, it didn't taste like nothing. Like, it wasn't bad. It just didn't taste like anything. Like, I had fish and chips. I was hype, and it was just like, it doesn't taste fishy.
It doesn't
It's
taste
just-
chippy.
It's just breaded something. But they had these like you remember the spot I took you out to in Queens,
Oh,
Crown?
of course.
Yeah.
They had spots like that on the
that's where
corner
you
in
gotta go,
Manchester,
the
right?
chicken shop dates.
But it was run by like an ethnic fellow. You feel me? So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fire. Ordered that. I'm like, it's all I mean. While we in Manchester, bro, it was fire. It was great. I was like, yo, I see why they say like in England, like the chicken is alright, because like I wanted to try Nando's because of that. We should try Nando's when we go to England at some point.
I'm not opposed to it.
I've always wanted to try Nando's, and then it was in Atlanta, so like I really want to try Nando's now. So I had a Nando's in his crib, bro.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with sports.
Just going back to Chelsea, did any of y'all see what Thiago Silva was saying after the game?
Wasn't he talking a little bit of?
Yeah,
He's
he
talking
had some
spicy?
spice. He had some
Some hot
spice for the
stuff,
club.
yeah.
Just talking about how like
After you won a championship,
there has
there?
to be just big changes at the club, and like the way he sees it, Chelsea's making steps just in the wrong direction. Kind of mentioning how they signed 8 players in the winter transfer window, and just I think it
that was
also
unnecessary.
Yeah, and alluding to like the changes in managers, the frequency is just like stability needs to come back to the club, because the way they're moving, I think we can all agree, is not gonna bring any success in the future.
Yeah, they also just signed like a a young lad to their like
Not a lad.
U21s, right? How old is he?
Who, the 16-year-old?
He's like, is he Portuguese or something?
I don't. I know.
I think I know who you're talking
the
about.
kid from like, I think it was like one of the South American countries. I know about him.
Yeah, he was super. Like he's.
But that was like a 16-year-old.
Yeah, 16-year-old. So just stay signing players until they find.
Someone's got to be good, right?
I mean,
at this point, it's just odds.
Like,
they got to find somebody.
I mean, how many people are going to leave Chelsea this summer? That's the question. I think Sterling's gone probably.
Yeah? Where does he go?
And Nkunku's coming.
Where does
and
young
João
Raheem
Felix
go?
stays. I don't know.
I mean, Pulisic is probably going to leave.
Damn, who picks up Raheem Sterling?
Madrid as
Aston
a backup
Villa.
center forward.
That would make his life.
Maybe he'll actually score goals now.
Don't do that.
No, I can see him at Aston Villa.
Ew. But
Or Newcastle.
wait. Because Leon's there. That might be a...
Little.
Listen, that actually might not be a terrible move if they can afford him. Because remember, it's always been about money. Liverpool fans still hate him. If they can afford him, that's not a terrible move.
Not
Newcastle try to hop on the wave.
And Newcastle beat the brakes off Tottenham today.
5-0. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, Newcastle.
I was gonna text you, but I was
Newcastle
like, nah,
bounced back after that.
he might not let me in. If
That
I
little
text him
blip from
about
last
this.
week. But all right. So another big Champions League game: City versus Bayern. That was a 1-1 tie, but
I'm disappointed that they went through.
City.
Yeah,
I mean,
Undeniable though.
I guess. I'm
City-
just a hater,
Come on,
so.
be fair. Give him.
I am a hater.
All right, fair enough. But
I don't know what you want me to do.
I mean, City clearly deserved to advance. I mean,
Deserved is a strong word.
it is a very strong word, but I watched the game.
but it is
so-
fitting for
Yeah.
this instance.
I didn't say it was a wrong word. I just said it was strong.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Bayern's struggling in more aspects of the game due to the fact that like they just lost again this weekend, 3-1
Yeah, I did see that.
to Mainz in the league, and I think Dortmund is now in first place in
They
the
are.
Bundesliga. So, I mean, it's kind of like Arsenal was in first or still is in first, but like we kind of know that like City's gonna win. And then like that's the same thing with the Bundesliga. Like I don't really think Dortmund's gonna really pull it out.
Really?
But
I don't think Dortmund can make that happen. I think this is the year.
Who's Dortmund?
Maybe I'm getting a little excited.
All right, who's-
But Bayern? There's a lot of changes.
yeah.
They're clear. I'm pretty sure they played their Classicer twice, so they don't have to play
Each other
Bayern again.
Their class.
Because if Dortmund played Bayern, then like Bayern would
Yeah.
clearly win the league.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I can't see Bayern going the rest of the season winning all their games.
Yeah.
I see Bayern as like very unstable right now. They're gonna drop some points. So this is like, I would just love it to see Dortmund win this league.
So who has better odds of winning their league? Arsenal winning the Prem, or Dortmund winning the Bundesliga?
All right, good.
Which one are you guys choosing? If you guys are putting your money on it, you got $1 million.
Arsenal looks like they don't want it.
yeah,
Which
at this
one-
point, I'll
which-
probably put it on Dortmund.
Dortmund? Or
I'll
you
probably
you
put
could
on
split it. You could split it if you want to. You
I put it on.
You could put $500,000 on each.
I put all my money on Dortmund.
All your money
Arsenal
on
don't want it,
Dortmund.
bro.
Arsenal.
They're gonna slip up like Gerrard.
Yeah,
at the end.
I have some.
That was a very
Some facts
interesting
about
last couple of minutes of that game, though, against Southampton. They were down 3-1. I thought that they were going to come back and actually win it.
You just said something very
in extra
important
time.
though against Southampton.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
I
have
mean,
been
they
that
should have
close.
never been in that place.
bottom of the league, Southampton.
You feel me?
Yeah. They were down 2-0 to them, too.
And that's not good enough. And when you hear someone like the former pros talking about Arsenal earlier on, when Arsenal was really flying high, a lot of them mentioned kind of, I don't think Arsenal will win the league because they're not used to that title run in like that last 8 or so
Last
games
push.
where things get a lot of pressure on all the games.
Yeah.
And Arsenal's the youngest team in the league. They have a bright future ahead of them. So a lot of them are saying, maybe Arsenal's not ready for that push. And it's starting to look like maybe they're not. It's great for them that things are still in their hands, but
It's tough for them because I feel like they pulled out some like amazing results against like very quality sides, and then against the worst sides they can't pull out the results, which is like I understand because like those are still tough games because those teams are battling for relegation, so like every game matters to them, but those are games that you got to put away, like bottom of the table teams, like you have to like come out with 3 points against, especially if you want to win the league, because City's not going to be dropping points. You never see City really fumbling the bag against Southampton. They'll beat them like 6-2, you know what I mean?
Right.
They might be down 2-0 at half, but they'll come back and score 6 in the second half,
Yeah.
So
and just on the point of Arsenal, I feel for them because going into the season, like we kind of knew they didn't have the deepest team, and Saliba getting injured, I think is like the catalyst to their downfall of the season. If they don't win the league, that'll be the moment, because since he's been injured and Rob Holding's been in, they were up 2-0 against Liverpool, they blew it. They were up 2-0 against West Ham, they blew it, and now they're tying Southampton 3-3. I mean, they scored 3 goals. All the power to them. But if you score 3 goals and you don't win, like that's more on the defensive side of things. So losing Saliba, who was like such a main part of their defense, has been a really tough loss for them, and bigger than when like Gabriel Jesus was out for that whole for that couple of months after the World Cup when he was injured.
yeah, like Arsenal doesn't have that luxury that City has. That like, if Ruben Diaz gets injured, they still have Ake, they have Laporte, you know what I'm saying, which are still top 10 center backs in the world, you know what I mean? They're top 5 center backs in the world. So yeah, I mean, when it comes down to title races and like longevity of the whole season, because it is a long season, it's like having replacements for those players is very important. Kind of like, I think Madrid also has like a very good side that like.
Yeah, you need a deep squad to win the league.
To win the league and even Champions League too, because they're contending for both at this point.
But another thing I just took away from that game was watching. I was trying not to be too critical because he is coming back from an injury where he was out for a while. But I was watching Gabriel Jesus, and it was starting to, like, during the game, I kind of saw why Pep was so willing
to give him away.
Yeah.
I see
it was
why
just
you say
that
that.
game where you needed like the center forward to score you a goal. Like your center forward needs to get you a goal.
Yeah.
And what he's giving away is just like,
yeah, and the chances he was just missing. I'm like, oh, come on, just one. And he's a good forward.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's got like that killer instinct that you kind of see in most center forwards of like the team that wins the league. Even like Leicester had the Vardy, City had the Aguero, now they have Haaland. I'd say the only team that kind of won the league without like a center forward who just had that killer instinct was Liverpool with Firmino over the last couple of years. But
yeah, he reminds me more of like a 10 instead of like a 9.
Yeah.
You know? Although I do think Gabriel Jesus started off like very, very well at the beginning of the season. Before he did get injured, I thought he was playing like really well.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to be too critical. This is probably like his 4th or 5th game back from a long-term injury. So, yeah, I'm trying not to be too critical. But at the same time, do you see him as a forward who can get you more than like 15 Premier League goals?
No, he reminds me of like a Firmino kind of style player, even though I think he's better than Firmino. He reminds me of like a player that's really only going to score you max like 15 goals, you know? He's not really going to score over that. I mean, I think he had the potential to score over 15 goals in this season if he was healthy. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see him if he's going to stay at Arsenal even for like next season, and to see like how he responds after like an injury, like a serious injury like that. But
so if you're Arsenal, obviously you're gonna have Champions League money coming in. Are you looking to reinforce or like upgrade per se at the center forward position this summer? Or do you think that's like?
I mean,
you're good with
how much
Jesus.
more of an upgrade can you get from Gabriel Jesus without not spending like $100 million? You know, at this point, like Osimhen is on the market, but Napoli's owner said that they were willing to only take an offer of 150 million minimum. That was the minimum, and I think PSG offered like 163 or something like that for him.
No, really?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if he's looking to go in play for PSG, but I think the big moves this summer are probably going to be Osimhen, Rafael Leao. I don't think he's going to be at AC Milan much longer. I think he's out of there. Even though like they might win Champions League.
I was just gonna say.
But like
make him stay.
I think this is also good for like the Italian teams because I feel like they haven't really had much like success in the Champions League for the last couple of years. You know, it's been mostly dominated by Spanish and English teams.
That's a good point.
10 years. 10 years plus.
So like the fact that they had what is it now? They had
3 teams.
3 teams in the quarterfinals. Now they have 2 teams in the semifinals. The structure of the format of like the tournament kind of worked out in their favor. But hey, I mean, got to give them props. AC Milan did beat Napoli, which was surprising to me because I thought Napoli would make it to the finals, considering the season that they had. But Osimhen was injured in the first leg of the round, and then the second leg was completely dominated by Napoli, and then there's a counterattack. Really good run by Leao. I don't know if you guys watched that clip, but Leao had like a box-to-box run, and then assisted to, I believe, Giroud, and that was like the 1-0, and then you know how like they won the first leg already 1-0, so it just like makes the game even more complicated than it already was for Napoli. And Napoli got a late goal, but it wasn't enough for them to go on to extra time. So yeah, that was a surprising result. I'm sure you guys were surprised by that as well too, because
I definitely had Napoli going through.
I know B was a little upset about that, but
I did want Napoli to go through. I can't front.
Yeah,
but pretty cool. We're gonna get a Milan derby in the semis, right?
That's cute.
Into Milan. That's cute. No, that's huge. That's cool. That's like you said, really big for Italian soccer.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a hard one to pick apart. I honestly not really leaning towards either side. Who you think is gonna go through?
Yeah. I got AC.
You got AC?
You got AC?
3-2.
I mean,
I see Inter going through on penalty kicks after both legs at 0-0.
Wait, but
that's more Italian.
Inter just scored three goals against Benfica in the last game. I guess they can score goals, you know. Lukaku.
That is a more Italian finish.
Yeah, they're not playing a Portuguese team this round.
Yeah, that is true.
Now that's hate. Benfica did their thing. Benfica was really good this time.
Damn, is this just going to be a Serie A game for Champions League? That's not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah,
I mean,
the final is actually Real Madrid Man City. That's the final, in my opinion. So another rematch of last year, which honestly, last year's legs were probably the craziest game. That was the craziest game I think I've ever seen in Champions League, when Madrid was down 3-1. I think it was the 89th minute. And Rodrigo scored, and then we ended up tying the game, and then we ended up, I think, winning in extra time. Crazy finish to that game. Do you guys think that this leg will live up to those expectations, or do you think one team is going to be dominated by the other, or are we going to see another Bayern versus City? Or
nah, they're just both
the two best teams in the world.
And I'm happy we get to see them play each other. You know, it's like nothing, cheap goals
I feel like City might edge them out, to be honest. I don't want to say it.
At this point, because did you see what Haaland did to the Bayern center backs?
Yeah.
Over these 2 legs?
Yeah.
Like, he turned Upamecano. How do you say his name?
Excuse me?
Upamecano?
One more time?
They were
He turned
actually
him inside out a few times.
There was a bunch of
Yo.
people. I forget they gave him a nickname because he played terrible apparently.
In both legs.
In both legs.
Yeah.
And they were calling him like the Harry Maguire version. Or something. What was the name? I
The
forget.
French Harry Maguire.
You know how
Yeah, the
bad
French-
you got to play for somebody to call you Harry Maguire?
Upa Maguire, yeah. So it's Upa Maguire, and I was dying. I was like,
You're
oh
ashamed
my
of
God.
yourself.
That's
Bring that
crazy.
dishonor to your family's name. It's crazy.
You know how bad you have to play to be able to somebody to call you that, but
Bro,
But only difference in City Madrid this year is Holland, right? It's pretty much the same teams they're bringing back.
it's a big
and
ass
that's a big difference.
It's a big ass difference.
So do you think that's gonna put City over the edge?
I think it might. I don't know. I'm interested to see.
It's a very real possibility.
I love the fact that I would want to see a Madrid City final, right? But I love the fact that I can watch two games as I'm playing against each other. You know, I'd rather watch them twice than watch them one time. You know?
Not the worst thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as Madrid doesn't get their ass kicked, but
I don't
So-
think that's gonna happen.
nah.
Let me ask you. Let's say hypothetically speaking, right? City win the Champions League,
Gross.
and then they win the Premier League.
Yeah.
Do you think that would put Haaland in contention for the Balon d'Or? Do you think that would win him the Balon d'Or?
I think
You'd have to put him in the top.
Listen,
Not contention. Obviously, he's already in contention. Like, do you think
if that
wins
happens,
it for him?
if that happens and he breaks the goal scoring record, and Messi somehow still wins the Balon d'Or, there's no justice. I don't give a fuck about the Balon d'Or
Oh
anymore.
wow, that was a curse word.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bleep that out. But anyways, come on, there's no justice to that. You know what I'm saying? This guy's literally
I
scored
agree.
40 goals in the
Good for
Prem.
1 month.
First
World Cup.
First time ever playing in the Prem. Breaks the record for the most goals ever.
That's
wins the
aggressive.
Champions League, which City hasn't done, if I'm correct.
You're correct.
And wins the league. Come on, what else do you have to do? He didn't get the opportunity to be in the World Cup. You know what
He
I'm
has
saying?
the wrong last name.
But what has Messi done this year besides win
He's been Messi.
the World Cup?
He's been Messi.
Winning a World Cup is that valuable?
We literally spoke about how valuable winning a World Cup is here. A couple episodes. I don't know what episode, but
yeah,
we
but
talked about it. It carries a lot of weight. I don't agree with it, but it does.
to me, 6 games is not what it means.
I agree with you.
what the whole season worth.
Let's
of-
not forget that Messi also will probably win the French league. So don't forget that.
Oh man.
Oh, because they weren't winning the French league before he got there. I don't remember the last time they lost the French league.
He's winning the French league.
But what is your guy? I don't want to be the bad guy here, but what is your guys'
The
opinion?
bad guy.
on,
Get it off, brother.
Oh, that's why I asked. I'm totally with you. If he continues scoring at the clip he's scoring at, Haaland is, it's crazy at points at this season. I wasn't asking did he score. I was asking
How much?
many did he
Yeah.
score. You know, that's incredible. So yeah, winning that, and then if you go ahead and win the Champions League, because I consider Madrid if you can get past Madrid, that's everything to me. Because I think Madrid's just been
They are the champions.
as much as I hate to admit it, they've just been the best European team in the last almost 10 years now.
Yeah,
So,
and just in general, in Champions League, it's almost guaranteed for them to at least
they
make it
bring it to
to semifinals. You know,
So yeah, if he gets those 2 trophies, I say why not? I say he deserves it.
yeah. But should there be even consideration for Messi winning the Balon d'Or at that point? Because I think it's blatantly he wins the Balon d'Or.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say
There's no
you can give it
consideration
to him.
if, ands, or buts.
A lot of people have been waiting for
Haaland-
Messi.
If Haaland doesn't win the Champions League, I could see them giving it to Messi. And let's say Arsenal wins the Premier League,
But is that the right thing to do from a football standpoint?
No, but that's
Because
happened a lot of times.
Yeah, of course. There's been times I agree because it just the footballing world is rigged, and obviously they want Messi, Ronaldo
That's a
to
harsh
win
statement.
everything. You don't think so?
Oh, I completely agree. Not
Like,
rigged, but it's definitely corrupt.
I think 100% FIFA was on Messi's side and was going to do whatever it could to make Messi win this World Cup.
Ooh.
I mean, I think Messi.
And we all want
Messi did a
everybody
lot of heavy lifting by himself. You know what I mean?
of
All
course,
right, settle down, superfan Messi _
but there was too much money. Like at the end of the day, it's a business. There's too much money involved in this. Think about how much more
Are
money
you going full conspiracy theory?
FIFA made from this World Cup because Messi won
I
it.
mean,
And they opened up a new
I've also
market.
felt like there's been times Madrid and Barca's been helped out in the Champions League. Like UEFA's.
I mean,
kinda
hasn't it
chosen
been proven
them
that
to win the
Barca
league.
paid for that help? For
Yeah,
20
whatever
years?
happened to that scandal, they just wiped it.
That's
under
what.
the
Okay,
table.
this is what happens.
gone.
We was talking about it before the podcast. This is what happens in soccer. You get caught and they're like, hey, and then you go on about your business. That's the consequence of breaking any rule in soccer. FIFA fair play. Hey, that's wrong. We're gonna write some articles. Carry on.
advances.
Like,
Nah,
it doesn't matter, bro. Soccer's not real. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
There's no-
baseball in the freaking early 2000s. Just beer, drugs, and like it's not a real place. It's just the freaking Wild Wild West.
What is the
You know what they
point?
say? If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Is that what they say?
But like, at
Is
that,
that a wait? Is that a
Yeah, what do you mean?
quote?
That's like baseball 101. You never played Little League.
No, I never
You
got
never
to play
played- yeah,
baseball.
I could tell. You never.
Nah.
he's not from upstate.
How do you cheat? No, they had baseball. I just never played it.
Yeah, I'm messing around.
How do you? I mean, no, but like what? Why is that? Like, how do you cheat in baseball? Well, I know how the Astros did it, but like, how do you cheat in Little League?
That's a
I
good
don't
question.
know. My team never did well, so we probably.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, you cheating Little League because the coach, right? He drafts all the players, right?
So he takes
So,
all the
like-
athletic kids.
Yeah. He might know all the other players. You know what I'm saying? Some
But you don't have
coaches-
to be athletic to be good at baseball. They have people that run for you.
But that'd be hilarious.
But yeah, but that doesn't happen in Little League. There's no like pinch runners really in
Oh, there's
Little
no
League.
designated hitters. Just hit and sit down.
Yeah, it's usually not like that. It's not as like.
Oh, it's not
Yeah,
organized.
there's not as much tactics in Little
In
League.
a Mickey Mouse league.
I mean, there is some coaches that go hard
Listen,
in
if
that.
you're gonna
those
play,
leagues.
play or keep it on the playground.
Yeah.
But like, what's the point of having rules if there's no consequences?
So you
know?
can say it's not corrupt. We have rules.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like exactly what just happened with Juventus. They got deducted 15 points, and then somehow they
And
went
then they
through
were
some
just like,
random
"Nah,
appeal
yo."
process, and then just like they just
They're
get
like,
their
yo, you
15
didn't
points
have
back.
those points for like 2 months. Like, I hope you learned your lesson. Here, have them back.
What really happened was Juventus paid a shit ton of money to FIFA, and they got their 15 points back because they were going to lose a lot of money because they weren't going to be in Champions League football.
Allegedly.
That's the short version. They can tell you whatever they want in the articles, whatever, but the real thing that actually happened was exactly that. Juventus was going to lose too much money. They were going to lose a lot of their players, and they needed to be in Champions League football. So
Allegedly.
they got their 15 points back.
Allegedly. Everything's alleged. Not getting sued here. You got to do that for legal purposes. I spoke with our lawyers before.
OTTP.
Chill. They don't need to know who that is unless just know we spoke with them. But no, I mean, the rules in soccer don't mean anything. Like, it really doesn't. Like, it's just for appearances. And so you can, like, have plausible deniability. Like, hey, there is a rule. You can look at the rule book. We have one. Look at it. They did something bad.
Even when it comes to games, isn't it interesting that sometimes like they apply the rule and sometimes they don't? I was thinking about how so many players, like after they get fouled, they just grab the ball and throw it away. Like, that's a yellow card. And you realize that sometimes the ref's like, all right, that's fine. And then other
sometimes, most times.
yeah, and then other times like, oh, here's your yellow card. Like, this is weird, you know?
It really
It's
just depends on
The problem
on the
with
ref.
refereeing is that it's human beings that do it.
like,
So regardless of whatever oh, we're fair, and there's always human error, and he woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, or he likes his team, whatever. There's something.
I wonder if there'll be like an algorithm that will ref games at one point.
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
There's no ref to argue with.
I wouldn't like that either. Yeah, the referee that refereed Man City Real Madrid's game, there was conversation about that Real Madrid was not very happy with the referee like that was refereeing that game due to like previous history in Champions League and just in general. Like I don't know who
they want to bring their own ref, right?
Probably.
No, that's Barca. Let's not put that over to Madrid until that comes out.
Some teams historically.
Let's not forget, it literally came out that Barca has been paying referees for 20 plus years. That's not something we're making up. That shit happened. Because it's soccer, how it goes, though, we're not going to talk about it ever again. But don't forget that. 20 years, my whole life, it's been paying refs. This has been part of the yearly what we just put on the books. Expenses, salaries, tape.
That must be funny
refs.
when they're doing the yearly budget.
Miscellaneous be big as hell every year. Miscellaneous every same amount every year. Miscellaneous. What be so? How is it miscellaneous but it's consistent every year? Allegedly. Shout out to the Barca fans.
Shout out to the Barca. But just bringing it back to the Premier League. Huge 6-point game this week.
Wednesday?
Not on the weekend. Wednesday.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Probably the biggest game of the season.
I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal plays their best game of the season.
I mean, they don't really have a choice.
They don't really have a choice. If they lose this game, the league's over.
They fumbled.
Yeah, they can't win if they lose this game.
But if they win, I think they have a 4-point lead, right? If they win this, because they're up 1 point, right? Hold up, let me check the current standings.
I'm gonna plug my name.
So they're up 5 points, but Man City has 2 games at hand. So technically, if Man City wins out, they still win the Prem.
Yeah.
If City wins, they win. I hope City wins.
I mean, City's 4 in the last.
Whoa. Didn't ask about win.
So, should be interesting. What are you guys' predictions on that game?
I don't know, man.
Who's at home, too?
It's at Etihad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so,
Etihad.
I think City's going to win, like, comfortably.
You don't think it's gonna be like a 4-2 thriller?
Yeah, 4-2. That's comfortable for City.
But a thriller though.
Yeah, I think so.
Mike Jack.
Man, I mean, you know, I do a lot of recency bias, and the form that City's in right now,
it's immaculate.
I don't see anything stopping them. I want Arsenal to win. You know, I'm
Arsenal's form has been. We don't really want the league like that.
Yeah,
like it's cool up here, but like success, bro.
I'm just picturing Rob Holding trying to deal with
Haaland.
Yeah, and it's not a good.
It's not happening.
It's not a good look.
You don't think it's plausible?
No, you know, the start of Arsenal. I feel like the true start of Arsenal last year. They went to the Etihad. And they outplayed City. But at the time, they didn't have a goal scorer. It was like Lacazette on his last legs of his Arsenal career. And anyone else could have put like a couple of chances away. But they outplayed City at home. Right?
Huh? You would have finished those.
But they played,
I'm saying, for real.
They outplayed them at home. So, I mean, I think it's possible. But my money's on City.
I think City's going to win it just because they're in form and Arsenal is just not doing what they're supposed to do.
But Arsenal tends to show up against the
big games. Like bigger teams, I should say.
They struggle against the teams that they should win against, but it seems like they really show up in like those big games. So hey, it should be interesting. I think Arsenal, they know like if they lose this, that most likely the league's over. So for a Wednesday game, I think it's going to be one of the better ones of the year. So, but who would have predicted that when they made the schedule? Who would have predicted that Man City Arsenal would be like
such a big game?
Such a big game. You
That's
know?
probably why they scheduled it like that.
Yeah, they probably put it on a
They
Wednesday.
expected City
randomly.
to be first and Arsenal to be sixth.
But they should just somehow like switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, put United on a Wednesday. Or
Yeah.
Tottenham lost 5-0 today.
They lost 6-1. But speaking of United, they actually played in Europa League
Did they?
on Thursday.
Or did they just show up? They didn't play.
And
They was just there.
it looks like they just showed up basically
Yeah, they
the
just
last
pulled up
6
because
years.
they had to.
Yeah, it's
They
like
just-
a week trip.
Yeah, it's like all right.
They wanted a week
Trip
trip
to
to
Spain.
Sevilla, enjoy the nice
We're
weather.
gonna try some paella and call it a day. Maybe eat some flan. You know what I'm saying? See
So
the sights.
I don't
Get
know
our ass bust.
if you guys watched the game, the first goal. Let's talk about it for a second.
They suck.
De Gea has the ball. Harry Maguire's basically on the top of the 18
With two people.
Two people
And he
close
calls
in,
for the ball.
in close proximity, and he calls for it, right?
And this genius gives him the ball.
Okay, but listen, whose fault is it? Is
The
it
idiot
Maguire?
passed the ball.
Is it Maguire's or De Gea's?
If I call for the ball with two people on me and you pass me the ball, we're both wrong, but you're wrong because
Yeah.
you had control of the situation. You could have booted it out.
Yeah.
You decided to give Harry Maguire, with a man on his left shoulder and right shoulder, a ball to take and control with composure. Have you ever seen him do that? You never seen him do that. But you wanted it. No, I'm going to give it to him. He called for it. You're not even the captain no more. Why are you giving him the ball?
He's still the captain.
He's not the captain.
He's the captain.
But he's not the captain. Like but he's not the captain.
That's what Ten Hag
It's
said.
Bruno.
Ten Hag said he practices really hard.
He has the most goals in practice.
Practice is really hard. You ever seen those clips from practice where he just be upper 90, scoring headers, and he gets in the game and it's just like, yo, should you be a forward, bro, where you can't ruin anything?
Wait, should we just put him in for Wu instead?
No, we should sell him
He will get sold.
to the lowest
All
bidder.
right, so how much? All right, how much do you think Harry Maguire is worth right now?
$10.
He's 30. I think he's 30. He's about to be turned 31. I think in like a couple of days. What's the price tag on Harry Maguire?
$10 US.
All right, realistically,
$100 US.
I
I
just
don't know.
think if you get in between, if you get 30 plus for him, I think that's
$1 million?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
wait, Brandon, but you think it's all right? It's crazy.
300,000 pounds.
It's crazy, but the fact that he's English increases his value 10, 15 million euros.
English
So
tax.
if he was
Does the
Spanish,
nationality of English, like, does that
course.
get
yes,
you money?
100%.
Why?
Because
Every English player.
Oh, in England.
yes,
Oh, okay.
In
There
England,
you
he's
go.
signed from between English teams.
He should be
Because
signed to a
it
championship.
really
team.
goes based off the fact that I think the reason why English players are worth more is because there's a rule in England that a certain percentage of players
Yeah.
in the English league have to be English.
Brexit season.
And the La Liga doesn't have that rule. I don't know if the other rule
They want
leagues
to
have
develop
that
their
rule.
young players so their national team isn't.
La
They
Liga
wanna
still
make it
has a
predominantly-
European passport rule.
What?
La Liga still has a European passport rule.
Oh, really?
So you need certain players need European slots. So I remember with like one of Marcelo's last years, like it was good for Madrid because he's been in Spain for so long that he now had a European passport.
Yeah, but he
Oh,
doesn't.
so he wasn't counting
Qualified
against
as a
them.
European player at that time.
yes,
they
but he
were
doesn't
able
have
to
to be
use-
English.
Huh?
He doesn't have to be
No,
English.
I'm just saying for like Spain, you were saying like it's not Spanish, but still like European. There's still European slots. They
Okay.
have to be designated. That's all I was saying.
Yeah. So
So there's a similar stipulation.
it's not the exact same. You know, it doesn't have to be like a specific English
No.
player. In England, they have to be a certain percentage of the team. I don't know exactly. Do you know, Nick?
The exact number now.
I would say it's around 50%.
I think it's 20. I thought it was
I think
20.
it might be a little more than 50. But
Yeah. Has to be English, which is like, I understand why they're trying to do that because they want to keep the league mostly English. But is that the best for that league, you know?
I think it's honestly more for the national team.
What
Because
in terms of national team?
The English national team, you're gonna need a English players. So most teams probably wouldn't even play as many English players if they weren't forced to. And that experience lets players get better and improve.
Oh, wait, really quickly.
Then,
I just looked up the rule. Technically, they don't have to have any English players in the Premier League. They must have at least 8 squad players that qualify as homegrown. Homegrown counts as a player that played on an English team for at least 3 years before turning 21. So you get a Brazilian kid in at 16, 17. That's an English player.
yeah.
That's interesting. It's way less strict than I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was more
I thought it was like you have to be born in this area and like.
But like, yeah, obviously most English players are gonna qualify for that.
Yeah, but I mean, they bring in a lot of players like young, so it just wasn't as strict as I thought it would be.
Wait, how many years do you have to play?
3 years before 21.
Yeah,
So
Garnacho
18,
would
17,
qualify
18.
for
Yeah, that's an English player. That counts as our 8. Or one of our 8. You have Rashford. There's a lot.
Even Martial, right?
When
he was
young,
19,
16.
18 or 19.
Pogba counts. Counted.
Yeah, he was in the academy.
That's crazy.
interesting rule. I didn't know that.
I kind of like it because it doesn't really handicap you.
Yeah. So let's talk about United's form lately.
Do we have to?
I mean, there's a reason why.
It's mad topics, though.
I mean, there's a reason why, like, they just lost to the 13th place team in La Liga and Europa League.
Because they were up 2-0 and then decided to score 2 own goals to make it a series.
Okay, we can blame it on Harry Maguire as much as we want to.
Whoa. Tyrone Malacia also scored an own goal. People hate Harry, but he also scored an own goal. Let's put that on him.
Yeah.
I hate Harry as much as the next guy. You know that. But Tyrell also scored an own goal. I like him as a player a lot. But the team played terribly. And De Gea is looking shittier by the minute.
I mean, at the same time, though, it's kind of what we talked about last week for, like, tampering expectations. At the beginning of the season, I would have said a good season for United is finishing in Champions League spots. Like, last season, didn't go great. They're starting over with a new manager. So they definitely had a good run of form for a while where I think a lot of us were starting to believe, could it be more than that? I think some people started thinking United were in the title chase at some point.
Yeah. I mean, they points-wise were technically for
that's
a
what I
little bit.
mean, but, like,
and then swiftly
deeper than that,
did everything to not be.
They were truly, I think they were punching above their weight for a little bit. So I don't, like, the way things are going for United, I don't consider bad as long as they finish in the Champions League.
Better.
They won a trophy this year, which was nice. The League Cup, but I mean, what like when you say United's form and whatnot, where did you expect them? Like, what did
their
you
form compared to their form starting the year?
Yeah, I just feel like once Rashford got injured, their form went downhill.
And then their home form is still intact. They haven't lost at home in, I think, like 18 games or something.
There was nobody that came in and was like, all right, Rashford's injured, I'm going to do my thing.
Because we don't have anybody with that dog in him.
You do, but sadly,
he's injured all the time.
Got injured a little earlier because I think he would have taken advantage of that for sure.
Hot take. I was just watching some highlights the other day. I really wish Mason Greenwood was just like a normal person.
Yo,
I saw Mason Greenwood. AC Milan has interest in signing Mason Greenwood.
I saw that too, but like objectively speaking,
pound for pound,
God,
I think he would have turned into like a great center forward. Yeah,
especially under this. Oh man, he just had to.
He's just like got that modern center forward to him, where he has everything.
I was watching clips and I'm just like, damn, the kid had it.
Left foot, right foot, good pace,
speed,
strong on the ball.
Red fish, blue fish.
I mean, he could be back. We spoke about it enough, but maybe we'll see him next year.
I don't know. If he comes back to United, people would be very uncomfortable. I think he needs to leave the country for a little bit.
And then come back?
I didn't say that.
What if you just loan him out?
Don't put words in my mouth. If they loan him out, I couldn't do anything about it. I would just have to say, wow, Manchester United. That's all I could do. I don't know if you see him in a United jersey again, though, just because of everything. But objectively speaking, that's a big loss we had in a player that we groomed from young. Big loss.
Yep, big loss for United, player-wise, and in Europa League. That's for sure.
They need to qualify for Champions League. That's what's a good season for them right now. If they don't do that, shit season.
I mean, they could have qualified by winning Europa League.
That's out the paint. So they need to focus on the league as much as they can. Figure it out. I don't know what happens, though, because there's injuries all over the pitch. Defense. Yeah, it's just a lot. But hopefully it shows them who needs to leave and who needs to stay.
Yeah. It's funny, though. I did text you when Lissandra went down. I said, oh, are you nervous that Maguire is going to be back in the side starting? What was your response? They wouldn't do that.
I did say that.
They wouldn't put him back in the team.
You know who I want to see play together at least one time? Bailly and Martinez.
I was just going to ask you because, I mean, I never played defense. I'll be honest.
I like the cuts of their jib.
Tell who's a good defender and who's not. But was he ever that bad for you? Like,
no.
How do you feel about him?
I like Bailly. I've never had an issue with him.
Out of all the players, because he never really got consistent minutes.
Even in a bad side, I liked him when we were playing shitty. I was like, yo, give me 3 of him.
I mean, he's solid. I feel like he'll do like all the dirty work that you need to be done.
You know the 4 I want to see together?
But he's not Varane good.
Wan-Bissaka on the right, Lissandro and Bailly in the middle.
So you really just trying to like defend.
And give me in the defense, yeah.
Wait, you're not choosing
on the left,
the lot over.
Give me Shaw.
Wan-Bissaka.
For the defense, I want to see together. I just want to see that specific defense play together. I think they would gel very well. They have a lot of the same. Luke Shaw is like the mildest mannered out of those 4, but I think you might need that. But like those 3, just like fiery, just. I'm hype about defense. I don't care about nothing else. I like that. I want to see how that looks. I don't know if they'll play together, though. I see reports of Bailly might be out of here. He's on loan, but
he hasn't really gotten that many minutes at United, so what would make him really stay, you know?
That's true.
I feel like
if he wants to leave, I feel you. But I'd like to see him with Lissandro.
Like, it was Harry Maguire and Lindelof. I think
Harry Maguire is not a real soccer player.
Well, we know Maguire's out, but
Lindelof doesn't seem like he has that like true aggression to him.
He's just playing because it's his job. It's like how you wake up and go to a 9 to 5. He's like, I'm gonna defend today because they put me on the field.
I don't really want to defend, but
not even that. It's just like this is what I have to do today, so I'll do it. Like there's nothing behind it. It's just I'll defend.
Hey,
Lissandro Martinez wakes up in the morning like, I'm locking you up. I'm not even gonna let you eat breakfast today. I'm gonna call the hotel and buy all the breakfast. Like he's just like I like the way he is.
There's a buffet downstairs, but there's no food left.
Yeah, like they come down and it's like some Martinez guy bought everything. Like, oh, he got us. A guy he got to it early.
Yep.
What's next on the list here, my guys?
So, and you want to talk about Liverpool's chase for a new midfielder, and
let's talk about Hakimi, bro.
Hakimi, you want to get spicy
yeah.
over here?
Let's get into Hakimi. You want to talk about him being a rapist, possibly, or him getting all the little "I hate women" men all hot in their pants last week?
We gotta give. Yeah, we gotta shout out his lawyer.
All right, so
we got a shout out
for the people that are watching this that don't know what we're talking about, Archraf Hakimi is a defender for PSG. His wife divorced him because he's a possible rapist. And it came out that she's not going to... Well, it's not possible for her to get any money because he doesn't have any. Everything that he makes is in his mom's name. When he wants to buy things, he literally just goes, "Mom, buy this for me." So I saw a report that he may quite literally get like spousal support alimony from her because she makes more, which is wild. But he did something with the legal paperwork there. He finagled the system.
I mean,
yeah, you got that money doing backflips.
Yeah,
that's a sick brother.
He finessed.
You gotta text your mom when you want to buy a Bugatti. I would hate that. I'd never buy anything.
Oh man.
Yo, Mom, I'm trying to buy a Lamborghini. Why do you need a Lamborghini? A Toyota does the same thing. Like, yo, we're not doing this, bro. You're just holding the bread. You're not. It's not yo. You're just holding it, son. This is a technicality. I am buying a Lamborghini. It's just in your name. Like,
that'd be hilarious.
Imagine that.
His mom just was like, "Yeah, like no."
Yeah, grown man, like a chain? Absolutely not. Like, what do you mean? All my friends have your friends have chains. If your friends jump off a building, like, yo, there's no way I'm having this conversation as a grown man soccer player right now. This is crazy.
When you're making millions,
You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised it hasn't.
you're paying for your mom's house that she's living in, but she's like, "Nah, you can't buy that."
It's like, look, you're gonna buy a Toyota. One, good for the environment. Two, it does the same thing. Why do you need all that speed? That's dangerous. You have a career. It's like, dog, boy, God, I should have just put this in jeopardy, dog. Like, I should have just kept it in my name.
Like Hakimi basically did a prenup without having to do the prenup.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
He finessed his way without having to do a prenup.
That's wild though, to have that foresight so early.
It's like, yeah,
like, Jesus.
He's probably telling his girl, like, "Yeah, you won't have my stuff," and then realistically, it's not the case.
Maybe he had the foresight because I think he married her when he was 21 and she was 35.
Oh, really?
There's that much of an age gap.
She's, I believe, 13 or 14.
Damn, I didn't know it was a cradle robber.
Yeah. And I think they met when he was 19.
Oh, good on him. She's a pedophile.
Yeah, that was my nerve.
Like, not technically. She's not technically, but she's 2 years off it. Well, it's a year up. So, what is it, 16? Either way, she's weird. Doesn't matter. I'm actually not mad at this now. No, I was never mad at it. But, like, I actually, like, all right, this weird old lady. But, to be honest, isn't she only suing him because he's a rapist, possibly?
No,
Also,
only because I think it's more because he cheated.
He cheated on her.
Like, she was away
in the act of rape.
Trip.
His cheating was rape. I think those go hand in hand to be like,
it's
all right, I'm out of here.
Nothing's conclusive yet. You know
But doesn't this kind of, isn't it? All right, hot take. Isn't it kind of to her credit that she's not a gold digger? Like, that she has no idea where the funds are? Like, she never asked or nothing? Like, how do you not know all your bread is going to your mother-in-law?
Yeah, right?
Wait,
at one point, she was probably like, let's buy something expensive. And
he's probably just like, okay, and then like called his mom and she didn't know. But like,
well, what if like, for instance, they have like a joint account, right? But the mom is like the main person on the account.
Wait, but first, I just have to mention that she is a Spanish actress.
Yeah.
So like, she has her own money.
Yeah,
it's not like
she does.
Do you know who she is,
Yeah.
Juan?
I didn't know who she was, but I know she's a Spanish
She's not
actress.
making that much bread. I don't even know who she is, bro. Come on. Why, you know who Angelina Jolie is?
Of course I know.
She's making bread. It's really easy, bro. Like, but yeah, I mean, hey, I don't think I mean, what if this just came out and everybody's like, oh, he's a genius, and she's known this since they got married, and she's just like, yeah, I don't want to be with you because you cheated and raped somebody. Possibly. Allegedly, maybe. I don't want to get sued. But yeah, like, what if we're making this a thing and she's just like, yeah, I've been new, I just don't want to be
But why
here.
would she be suing him over the fact that he...
Oh, she's suing him because she's not getting anything?
I mean, is that actually the thing? Like, she's actually
I'm
suing
asking
him?
you. You just said that.
I mean, you're Mr. Lawyer guy, so.
I'm not. No, is she suing him for something? I thought she was just divorcing him, and then people were like, "Oh snap, they're getting divorced, and she won't get anything because all his money goes to his mom." Like, I don't Like, did she ever come out
So
like,
if you-
oh, darn, I'm not getting money?
There has to be a way you can just divorce and just have things like completely clean, like
Yeah, prenup.
no 50-50.
Yeah, prenup.
No, but I'm saying like if you don't sign a prenup and
Oh, it depends on where you
can
get
just-
married, too.
Can you just decide like
Depends
no,
on where you
we
get
don't
married.
want to like split things 50-50? Like
It depends on the laws where you get married.
you just keep your money, I'll keep my money, and we're good. We had separate bank
I mean, if
accounts.
both would like agree to it, honestly, why not? If you go to court and you're like,
Right.
all right, like this is what we want. We want just like we all have our separate money. You know, it's like I'm sure that's definitely possible.
But the longer you're
But-
married, the harder it is to decipher what's separate money.
Right.
And then it goes into, oh, did you help me make this money or grow this money while you're with me? And that's part of it. And it's a whole thing.
But it's also crazy because, like, obviously having a lawyer when you're going through that is very expensive. Saying because she makes more technically or has more technically that she'll have to pay his lawyer fees.
That's hilarious. I mean, that's just objectively funny as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I want to divorce you, but I have to pay for it on both ends. And he's just in there like, I mean, you want to divorce me, bro? Pay for it. He's like, I don't make no money. Like, that's mad funny. He's an asshole, but that's hilarious. I don't know. The only thing I don't agree with the whole thing is like the alimony, where it's like you need to maintain the lifestyle they had. Why? The lifestyle you had came with the marriage you had. You don't have the marriage anymore, so you don't have the lifestyle. Why would you pay to maintain that? That's outrageous to me.
And they don't have any kids together, do they? Or does he have a kid?
I think they do.
They
I
do?
think they might have 2 kids, 2 young
See, that's
children.
where it
That's
gets a
mad
little bit,
children's.
that's where it gets a little bit more complicated.
Damn,
then.
she might have to pay him child support. If it was America, she might.
That's kind of crazy. Complicated topics over here.
Hey man, we're gonna get to the deep stuff. This is hard hitting podcast. But no, I don't know, man. Hakimi, if he did what's accused of him, fuck that guy. If he didn't do it, that's a wild allegation. Fuck that lady. That's my take on it. In brighter news, one of my favorite defenders ever, his son just got called up to the Spain national team for the U15s, and I feel old.
Interesting they chose. Well, they
Marcelo has a
chose-
15-year-old son, bro. What the hell?
Yeah, what age did he have a kid at then?
How old is he now? Old?
He's probably like 36, 7, 8.
36,
That's not
7,
even
8.
bad.
That's not.
The only one I've seen that really took me back was this guy who played for Aston Villa like 2 years ago, a Brazilian forward named Wesley. He was like 21 and his daughter was
Can
like
you
8
do
or
some?
9.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was he a victim?
Marcelo's 34, so he had his kid when he was 19.
Oh, he was a wild boy, just professional soccer player getting to it.
That's when he first signed his big money
Yeah.
contract. He was like, all right.
You sign a contract and get to splashing? That's that's outrageous. That's actually crazy. Unless that's his lady. If so, God forgive me.
It's interesting they chose Spain over Brazil, though. But I mean,
He's probably born in Spain.
yeah, I think he was. And
Yeah.
also, you can always switch after, like, if you don't play any, like, first team caps, right?
Mhm.
So,
You can't switch after first team caps.
After a certain
it's weird
amount.
now, though. I think even like it's even more if you don't do like a major tournament with that team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Diego Costa, there was what he
Yeah,
Oh, that
played.
fake
Brazil.
Spaniard.
Yeah, switched.
Yeah, he switched because
Even like
Spain
Zaha
doesn't
used
have
to
any
play
center
for England,
forwards.
now plays for Cote d'Ivoire.
Plays for who?
Cote d'Ivoire,
Word.
Ivory Coast.
No, I feel you. It's the first time you said it, I just
Brandon
didn't know
was
what you
like
were saying.
thrown off guard. He's like, Cote d'Ivoire, what?
No, I've been there before though.
Of course.
One time,
What were you doing over there?
I was cooling. You know, just out there living, getting in touch with my people. You know, what's left on the list here? Phyllis. Oh, who do you think are the best sons? Like, do sons ever live up to the hype? Is there a good son that was like
Yes.
better than the
And
dad?
you're watching him right now.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Well, not like technically right now, but he's on pace to break one of the records of your favorite league.
What?
He plays for
Haaland.
the same team that his dad plays for.
Girls. That doesn't count.
What do you mean?
No. I mean, like, important
You're
dads.
saying, like,
do the sons
You're
ever,
saying like Haaland's
measure
dad
up?
wasn't relevant?
No. I think to be a successful player, if your dad played, he has to suck or, like, be very mediocre. I'm saying, like, do, like, great players ever have sons that also live up or exceed that?
I think Maldini might be the only.
Paolo?
Yeah, I think.
And his pops was
His pops was like.
they're like Italian legends, right?
Legend as well.
True.
And Maldini's like arguably the greatest defender ever, so he surely surpassed his.
That's
father.
one. Okay, that's a good one. That is a good one. Is there any other ones that you can think of? Off-camera home slice. Are there any of that you can think of? That's you, Gamby.
Like a really good player with a really good son.
Yeah.
I mean, Thiago's dad won a World Cup with Brazil.
A lot of people won a World Cup with a team. Robert Ory got mad rings. Was he a great player? So he doesn't count.
She's talking about like a great player having a son that surpassed him.
That's also equally as great or even better. Maldini is a great one. I think your dad has to be mediocre for you to be great. Even in other sports. Del Curry, cool. Steph Curry. Michael Jordan, his sons. College at best.
You're saying Bronny's already, it's already clipped for Bronny?
I think Bryce, because there's two of them, I think Bryce is going to be the one. Bronny, because of just sheer hard work and like genetics, is going to be like a very solid 6-man or like a starting point guard.
Mm.
But I think Bryce is going to be the guy.
Will Bryce ever be like even an all-star?
I think so. I don't think he's going to be LeBron James.
Bronny? I mean,
Bronny might sneak in there. People know him, so it's a big part of it is just getting voted in. Play well enough for people to like you.
yeah, but it's not just only the fans vote.
But they dictate a lot of it. Then some bots get somebody in like 2 years ago. Somebody from the Kings.
Yeah.
Damn, we're turning this into a whole sports
everybody's
pod.
voting for Brian Scalabrine.
Scalabrine.
The white mamba.
Yo, white mamba's a problem though.
It's
He'll
actually
cook you at your
crazy
local
because
YMCA.
like there was like some player I watched this YouTube video of him playing against some D1 athlete, basically saying like, "Oh, you're washed up. Like, come play me 1-on-1." And like Brian Scalabrine beats him like 12-0
he
every
cooked him
game.
because he was like, "Yo, I'm closer to LeBron than you are to like
Yeah,
me."
we kind of forget how good professional athletes
I don't
are.
forget. I would never challenge a professional basketball player to a basketball game. Harry Maguire, I would challenge him to a juggling contest. I don't think he can juggle past 10. You think he could juggle past 10?
I don't know. We might have to get Harry to send us a video of him juggling past that.
I think
I challenge Harry Maguire to come here and face me in a juggling contest. If you see this. I was about to say some wild shit, but there's people that watch this pod that I can't say that. But
You think Harry Maguire can do it around the world?
no, hell no.
He might fall, right?
He might break his ankle.
What about Timmy Way and his dad?
George Way was the
George
guy,
Way is
wasn't
Balon
he?
D'oro winner.
Yeah, he won a Balon D'oro. Like, I don't think that counts.
Timmy still got time, right?
He got time, but as of now, he's not on the list of what we're talking about. I don't think there is one. Well, there's more than one. There's Paolo Maldini, and that's it. And we saw Ronaldinho, son.
We'll have to do some more.
His dad was too great for him to be good, bro. It goes mediocre,
Claudio
mediocre,
Reyna,
great,
Gio
great,
Reyna.
mediocre.
That's one, right?
Goalies aren't real players.
No.
Claudio Reyna and Gio Reyna.
Oh.
I mean, obviously Claudio Reyna is not like world class level, but he was like one of the bigger American soccer players of his generation.
Is Gio Reyna one of the biggest American soccer players of his generation?
I mean, if he fixes funky little album.
That's the if. Yeah, he can get there. If he makes soccer a thing here, then maybe he'll pass his dad. But yeah, I really think there's something to it. Your dad can't be too great. And you can't be his only son if he's too great. You're bound to be
Alexis
mediocre.
McAllister's dad played with Maradona and won a World Cup. Alexis McAllister has played with Messi and won a World Cup.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Family's lucky.
Do you want him on United?
They're just in the right place at the right time. Do I want him on United for being Argentinian?
No, for being
from Argentina.
Solid midfielder.
From Argentina.
Sure.
That's why he won a World Cup with Messi. His dad won a World Cup with He's from Argentina. World Cup is 6. Like, what is World Cup, bro? Cool, you won a World Cup.
Messi wins the World Cup. Now it don't matter anymore.
No, we've had this conversation.
It's like LeBron winning the championship. Yeah. Oh, only one?
You won a World Cup.
Wow, you won one World Cup?
It does mean something, like, culturally in football. But does that mean you're the best player in the world?
Look at this. Look at this Ronaldo fan over here.
I'm not talking about Messi. I'm talking about the shit we talk about. Pele got 17 of them shits. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It means something culturally. Like, it World Cup means a lot. You can build a career off your World Cup performance. But I don't think it means, like, oh, this person is, like America wins a World Cup and you sit on the bench and don't play. Are you a great player? You got a World Cup. Yeah, like, you was on the team. Who'd you play to get there? What if you, like, I just don't, I think there's a lot that go, it adds to your resume, but I don't think it can be your whole resume. That's why I don't think I was talking shit about Messi. He has a full resume and then added the World Cup to it. I don't think the World Cup can be your resume.
If it's not just one, like the Mexico goalie, I don't even.
But he doesn't exist out. He's like he's a phantom. Like, he doesn't exist outside of World Cup.
Playing, I feel like the last 10 World Cups.
He's not a real person though. He's like an entity. So, like, World Cup starts and then he apparates.
He disappears.
It finishes and you don't see him again until it's time for World Cup again. He's been playing for Mexico since my parents were watching World Cup. You can't count him.
Ochoa.
I don't know. In short, Ronaldo's the greatest ever.
In short.
Who do you have as your GOAT? I got Ronald. I was going to say Ronaldinho. I don't know if I have him as my GOAT, but this is my favorite player ever. But I feel like we've talked about this before.
I like Zidane. Just because he's not like Ronaldo and Messi are like blessed with like the pace and like those physical attributes.
Did you just say Messi was blessed with physical attributes?
Yes.
He was put on human growth hormone so he could be a normal sized person. And he's still not.
Right. But he just like he still has that speed. That like
because his legs are short.
We're not thinking about like Messi today. Messi and like his prime Messi physicality was just like
I was faster.
Of course you were. You're Jamaican, of course you were.
That's racist.
But
I hope you're okay with being prejudiced. You're gonna get canceled now.
But Zidane for me is like pound for pound. Just the way he played was
the way you think you play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh. Who's your guy, Juanito?
The GOAT?
He's going to say Ronaldo.
Your favorite.
My favorite?
Yeah, not the GOAT, your favorite. Favorite ever.
Position-wise or just in general? Just
your
player?
Favorite soccer player ever?
It's Ronaldo.
Which one?
Cristiano.
No, Brazil or Portugal?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know about the Brazilian Ronaldo.
I know about the Brazilian Ronaldo.
I mean, but we weren't like born.
You don't know, but you don't know.
But
people from that time say that he would have been like the greatest soccer player ever. They're all convinced.
I mean, honestly, if every time I see him or watch him, I'm like, this guy is different. Like, even as a fat old man, he's nice.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo is my favorite.
Damn, I thought you'd pick someone from Spain.
Defender, Sergio Ramos.
Defender for me might be Puyol, followed by Ferdinand as a very close second.
Defender for me might be Marcelo.
Marcelo?
Because he's not a defender.
Marcelo in his prime.
He's low-key like a winger. Converted into...
My favorite defender is the one that can play winger. That's my guy.
He's silky. You got that.
Yo, nah, he's a guy out here. He patterns his game after me.
Definitely very entertaining to watch, that's for sure.
I know he definitely saw me playing patterned his game after it. Seen him in New York one time. And one. Oh man, I think it's time to wrap the pod up, boys. Doesn't look like there's too many topicos left. Is there anything I want to touch on before we finish up here?
I've said it all. I said everything I can say.
Said it all.
More on the way.
Said it all, done it all, run its course. Like we say every time, if you're still here, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you for watching. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. It's been another Over the Top Tuesday. Thank you for your time. Anything else from my co-host here?
You're the best.
Shout out to Kendini.
As always, thank you for joining. See you next week.